After your cat's passing, 5 messages from the other side. What if I told you that the love between you and your cat didn't end when they took their last breath? What if, right now, in this very moment, they're still trying to reach you, not through words, but through something far more profound? Stay with me, because what you're about to discover might change the way you see loss, love, and the invisible threads that connect souls across dimensions. If you enjoy meaningful stories and spiritual insights about cats, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. I read every single comment, and I'd love to hear your story too. The bond that death cannot break. There's a particular kind of silence that fills a home after a cat passes away. It's not just the absence of sound, the soft padding of paws on hardwood floors, the gentle thud of a jump onto the bed, the rhythmic purring that once vibrated through your chest on quiet evenings. It's something deeper. It's the absence of a presence that had woven itself so completely into the fabric of your daily life that you didn't realize how much space they occupied until that space became empty. If you're watching this, chances are you know that silence. You know the weight of it. The way it presses against your heart in the early morning when you instinctively reach out to pet them, only to remember. The way it echoes in the corners of rooms where they used to sit, watching you with those knowing eyes that seem to see straight into your soul. But here's what I want you to consider, and I say this with the deepest respect for your grief. What if that silence isn't really silence at all? What if it's simply a different kind of language, one we've forgotten how to hear? Let me share something with you. Over the years, I've spoken with hundreds of people who've lost their beloved cats. And while each story is unique, there's a pattern that emerges, a pattern so consistent, so universal, that it cannot be dismissed as mere coincidence or wishful thinking. They tell me about dreams, not ordinary dreams, but encounters so vivid, so real, that they wake up with tears streaming down their faces and an inexplicable sense of peace in their hearts. Dreams where their cat appears healthy, vibrant, and seems to communicate a single, clear message. I'm okay, and you will be too. They tell me about moments, fleeting, almost imperceptible moments, when they feel a familiar weight on the bed at night, or catch a shadow moving in their peripheral vision that looks exactly like their cat's silhouette. They tell me about the scent of their fur appearing out of nowhere, or the sensation of being watched with love from an unseen place. Are these people delusional? Are they so consumed by grief that they're fabricating experiences to ease their pain? I don't believe so. And neither does a growing body of research into the bond between humans and animals. Have you ever wondered why the connection with a cat feels different from any other relationship? Scientists have discovered something remarkable. When you interact with your cat, when you pet them, when you lock eyes with them, when they curl up in your lap and purr, your brain releases oxytocin, the same hormone associated with maternal bonding and deep love between humans. But here's what's even more extraordinary. Your cat's brain does the same thing. This isn't a one-sided relationship. This is a mutual exchange of love, trust, and recognition at the most fundamental neurological level. But neuroscience can only explain so much. It can tell us about hormones and brain chemistry, but it cannot measure the soul. It cannot quantify the inexplicable feeling that your cat chose you, that out of all the humans in the world, you were meant to find each other. And maybe that's because some truths exist beyond the realm of measurement. Some connections transcend the physical body and continue long after the heart stops beating. The first message: I am still with you. This brings us to the first message your cat wants you to receive from the other side, and it's the foundation upon which all the others rest. I am still with you. Not in the way you remember, not in the physical form you could hold and touch, but in the energy that love creates, an energy that doesn't dissipate simply because the body that housed it has returned to the earth. Think about it this way. Every moment you shared with your cat created an imprint. Every time they comforted you during a difficult day, every time you laughed at their quirky behavior, every time you felt that inexplicable sense of being understood by a creature that didn't speak your language. Those moments didn't just happen and then vanish into nothing. They became part of who you are. They shaped your capacity for tenderness, for patience, for unconditional love. Your cat left paw prints not just on your furniture and floors, but on your very soul. And those prints remain. Now I know some of you might be thinking, but I want more than memories. I want them back. I want to feel their physical presence again. I understand. Believe me, I do. And I'm not here to tell you that spiritual connection is a replacement for the tangible, living, breathing companion you lost. The grief you feel is real, and it deserves to be honored, not dismissed. But what I am suggesting, what countless people have experienced, and what I invite you to remain open to, is that the relationship doesn't end. It transforms. Have you felt it? Have you experienced a moment, however brief, when you could have sworn they were near? I want to hear about it. Share your story in the comments below. Tell me about the signs, the dreams, the inexplicable moments of comfort that arrived precisely when you needed them most. I promise I'll read every single one and I'll respond because your experience matters and you are not alone in this. The truth is, we live in a culture that doesn't know how to talk about death, especially the death of an animal. We're expected to grieve quickly, quietly, and then move on. But anyone who has truly loved a cat knows that's impossible, and maybe it's not even desirable. Because in holding space for our grief, in allowing ourselves to feel the full weight of what we've lost, we also hold space for something else, the recognition of how deeply we were loved and how profoundly that love changed us. Your cat's love didn't come with conditions. They didn't love you because of what you accomplished or how you looked or whether you had a bad day. They loved you because of something essential, something true, something that exists at the core of who you are. And that kind of love, pure, uncomplicated, unwavering, doesn't just disappear. It remains. It echoes. It continues to shape and guide you, even from the other side of the veil that separates the physical world from whatever lies beyond. So let me ask you this. If you knew, truly knew, that your cat's spirit still exists, still loves you, still watches over you from a place of perfect peace and understanding, how would that change the way you carry your grief? What if the pain you feel isn't a sign that they're gone, but rather evidence of how real, how deep, how sacred the connection between you truly was? Because here's what I've come to understand through years of exploring this mystery. The bond you shared with your cat was never just about companionship. It was about something far more profound. Your cat wasn't just a pet who happened to live in your home. They were a teacher, a healer, a spiritual guide in fur. And the lessons they came to teach you, some of them could only be understood after they were gone. The lessons, written in silence. There's a peculiar paradox about loss that most people don't talk about. In the immediate aftermath of losing someone we love, whether human or animal, we're consumed by what's missing. The empty bed, the unused food bowl, the toy that sits motionless in the corner. We focus so intently on the absence that we sometimes fail to see what remains. But as time passes, something shifts. The acute pain of loss begins to soften, not into forgetting, but into something else entirely. Into recognition, into gratitude, into the slow, dawning realization that the being we loved didn't just take something from us when they left. They left something behind, something precious, something that continues to shape who we are and how we move through the world. Your cat was teaching you all along. Every single day you spent together was a lesson, though you might not have recognized it as such at the time. Because cats don't teach the way humans do, with words and explanations and explicit instructions. They teach through presence, through example, through the quiet, persistent demonstration of a different way of being. And now, from the other side, those lessons have become even clearer. The second message, I taught you how to be present. Think back to a moment with your cat. Any moment. Maybe it was a morning when you were rushing to get ready for work, stressed about deadlines and responsibilities, and your cat jumped onto the bathroom counter, looked you directly in the eyes, and refused to move until you stopped and acknowledged them. Maybe it was an evening when you were scrolling through your phone, half present and distracted, and they climbed into your lap with such deliberate intention that you had no choice but to put the device down and be there, fully there, with them. Cats are masters of the present moment. They don't worry about yesterday. They don't anxiously plan for tomorrow. They exist in the eternal now with a completeness that most humans spend their entire lives trying to achieve through meditation, therapy, or spiritual practice. And by simply being themselves, they were teaching you how to do the same. Research in animal behavior has shown that cats experience time differently than humans. They're not burdened by the psychological weight of past regrets or future anxieties. Their consciousness operates in a state that mystics and spiritual teachers have been trying to help humans access for millennia: pure, undivided presence. When your cat stared out the window for hours, watching leaves move in the breeze, they weren't bored. They were fully engaged with the miracle of existence unfolding in real time. When they stretched in a patch of sunlight, they weren't just loosening their muscles. They were surrendering completely to the pleasure of that single moment, without questioning whether they deserved it or whether it would last. They were showing you, every single day, what it means to truly live. And now that they're gone, that lesson hasn't disappeared. If anything, it's become more urgent. How many times since their passing have you caught yourself rushing through your day, only to be stopped by a memory? A sudden image of them sitting in their favorite spot, completely at peace, completely present. And in that moment of remembering, you pause, you breathe, you come back to yourself. That's not coincidence. That's the lesson continuing. That's your cat still teaching you, still guiding you back to the present moment, even from beyond the physical realm. Have you noticed this in your own life? Those moments when a memory of your cat brings you back to the now? I'd love to hear about it in the comments. What did your cat teach you about being present? How do they still guide you today? The third message. You gave me a home. I gave you purpose. Let's talk about something that often goes unspoken in the relationship between humans and their cats. The profound exchange of purpose that occurs. On the surface, it might seem like a simple transaction. You provided shelter, food, safety, medical care. Your cat provided companionship, comfort, entertainment. But anyone who has truly loved a cat knows it goes infinitely deeper than that. When you brought your cat into your life, whether you chose them from a shelter, found them as a stray, or they appeared on your doorstep as if summoned by fate, something fundamental shifted in your existence. Suddenly, you weren't just living for yourself. You had a responsibility, a being whose well-being depended on you. And in accepting that responsibility, you discovered something remarkable about yourself: your capacity to care for another living creature unconditionally. This is not a small thing. This is transformative. Studies in psychology have shown that caring for animals activates the same nurturing circuits in our brains that are associated with parenting and deep interpersonal bonding. But it's more than biology. It's spiritual. When we take on the role of caregiver, when we feed, protect, comfort, and love a vulnerable being, we step into a larger version of ourselves. We become more compassionate, more patient, more attuned to the subtle needs of another. Your cat needed you, and in needing you, they gave you purpose. Think about those middle-of-the-night moments when your cat was sick and you sat beside them, stroking their fur, whispering reassurances, willing them to be okay. Think about the way you learned to read their moods, to understand their unique personality, to know when they needed space and when they needed closeness. Think about how your schedule rearranged itself around their needs. How you came home when you said you would because someone was waiting for you. How you made decisions with their well-being in mind. You became a better human because of them. And here's the beautiful truth that your cat wants you to understand. that transformation is permanent. The capacity for love and care that you developed through your relationship with them doesn't disappear just because they're no longer physically present. It's now part of who you are. It's woven into your character, your soul, your way of being in the world. The home you gave them was made of walls and floors and windows. The home they gave you was made of purpose, meaning, and unconditional love. And that home still exists within you. The sacred exchange. There's an ancient concept found in many spiritual traditions, the idea that every relationship is a sacred exchange, a giving and receiving that occurs on levels we can't always see or understand. In some cultures, it's believed that animals serve as bridges between the physical and spiritual worlds, that they come into our lives not by accident, but by divine appointment. Whether or not you subscribe to any particular belief system, there's something undeniably profound about the way cats enter our lives. They appear precisely when we need them, often during times of transition, loneliness, or pain. And they stay exactly as long as they're meant to stay, teaching us exactly what we need to learn. Your cat didn't just randomly end up in your care. You were chosen. They recognized something in you, some quality, some need, some potential that called to them. And through the time you shared, they helped you become who you were always meant to be. More patient, more present, more capable of unconditional love. These aren't abstract concepts. These are real, measurable changes in who you are as a person, and they remain long after your cat has crossed to the other side. So I want to ask you something, and I really want you to think about this. What did your cat awaken in you? What part of yourself did you discover through loving them? Was it softness you didn't know you had? Was it strength you'd never been forced to access? Was it the ability to find joy in small, simple moments? Was it patience with yourself and others? Write it down, share it in the comments. Because acknowledging these gifts, naming them, honoring them, is how we keep our cats alive in the world. Not through grief, but through embodying the lessons they taught us. Your cat's physical body may have returned to the earth, but the energy they brought into your life, the transformation they sparked within you, the purpose they gave you, that energy is eternal. It lives on in every act of kindness you extend, every moment of presence you cultivate, every time you open your heart to love despite the risk of loss. That is their legacy. That is the gift they left behind. And if you're wondering whether your cat knows, whether they can see the person you've become because of them, I believe with my whole heart that they do. I believe they're watching from wherever souls go when they leave their bodies, and they're proud, they're at peace, because the mission they came to accomplish was successful. They changed you, forever. But there's something else, something even deeper that I need to tell you about the connection you shared. Because the relationship between you and your cat wasn't just about this lifetime. It wasn't just about the years you had together in the physical world. What if I told you that your meeting was arranged long before either of you were born? That you and your cat are connected by something far more ancient and intentional than circumstance or chance? What if there was a sacred contract between your souls? When souls recognize each other, do you remember the exact moment you met your cat? Close your eyes for a second and go back to that day. Maybe you walked into a shelter, past dozens of cages, and then suddenly, there they were. And something inside you just knew. Or maybe they appeared on your doorstep, out of all the houses on all the streets in all the world, and chose yours. Or perhaps you weren't even looking for a cat, had no intention of adopting, and yet when your eyes met theirs, everything changed. That moment wasn't random. I know in our modern logical world, we're taught to dismiss these things as coincidence. But if you've experienced it, if you felt that instant, inexplicable recognition when you met your cat, you know it was something more. It was remembrance. Two souls recognizing each other across the veil of forgetting that separates the physical world from the realm of spirit. Because here's what I've come to understand through years of listening to stories, through my own experiences, and through the wisdom traditions that have existed for thousands of years across every culture on Earth. The bonds we form with certain beings, human or animal, are not new. They're ancient. They existed before this lifetime, and they'll continue long after. Your cat didn't just happen to cross your path. You were meant to find each other. The fourth message: we chose each other before we met. This might be the most difficult message to accept, especially if you're still raw with grief, still asking, why did they have to leave so soon? But stay with me, because understanding this truth can transform your pain into something sacred. In many spiritual traditions around the world, from Buddhism to Hinduism, from indigenous wisdom to modern metaphysical understanding, there's a concept that souls make agreements before incarnating into physical form. These are sometimes called soul contracts or sacred agreements. The idea is that before we're born into our bodies, while we still exist in spirit form, we choose certain relationships, certain experiences, certain lessons we need to learn. And yes, this includes our animals. Dr. Stephen Farmer, a psychotherapist and expert in animal spirituality, has documented thousands of cases where people describe an inexplicable knowing when they met their animal companion, a sense that this being was specifically meant for them. He writes about the concept of spiritual companions, animals who incarnate specifically to help us through certain phases of our soul's evolution. Your cat chose you. Before you were born, before they were born, your souls made an agreement. They would come into physical form at exactly the right time, find you when you needed them most, and teach you exactly what you needed to learn. Think about the timing of when your cat entered your life. Really think about it. Were you going through something difficult? A loss, a transition, a period of loneliness or pain? Or maybe you were at a crossroads, needing to learn something about yourself that you couldn't learn any other way. The universe has a strange and beautiful way of sending us exactly what we need, disguised as what we want. You thought you were just getting a pet. But what you were actually receiving was a spiritual teacher, a healer, a guide who had volunteered, on a soul level, to help you through a specific chapter of your journey. And they didn't just show up randomly. They navigated the complex web of circumstances, coincidences, and seemingly unrelated events that had to align perfectly for you to find each other. That shelter visit you almost didn't make. That friend who mentioned they knew someone rehoming a cat. That stray who appeared the day after you'd been thinking about adopting. These weren't accidents. This was orchestration at the soul level. Cats as spiritual guardians. There's a reason why cats have been revered as sacred beings in cultures throughout history. Ancient Egyptians worshipped them as divine. In Japanese tradition, they're seen as bringers of good fortune and protectors against evil spirits. Celtic mythology speaks of cats as guardians between worlds, able to see and navigate realms invisible to humans. These weren't just superstitions. Our ancestors understood something we've largely forgotten in our modern, materialistic world. Animals, especially cats, operate on frequencies we can't fully perceive with our five senses. They see things we don't see. They sense energies we don't sense. They serve as bridges between the physical and spiritual realms. Have you ever noticed how your cat would stare at seemingly empty corners of a room? How they'd suddenly focus on something you couldn't see, their eyes tracking movement in the air? How they'd position themselves between you and the door when you were upset, as if standing guard. They were protecting you, not just physically, but energetically and spiritually. Scientific research has actually validated some of this ancient wisdom. Studies have shown that cats have extraordinarily sensitive electromagnetic perception. They can detect changes in the Earth's magnetic field before earthquakes. They respond to subtle energy shifts in their environment that humans are completely unaware of. Their purring vibrates at a frequency between 25 and 150 hertz that has been scientifically proven to promote healing, reduce stress, and lower blood pressure. But beyond the science, Anyone who has loved a cat knows there's something mystical about them, something that can't be fully explained by biology or physics. They carry an ancient wisdom, a connection to something larger than themselves, and they brought that energy into your home, into your life, into your very being. The mission they came to complete now. Here's where this gets both beautiful and, I'll admit, sometimes painful to accept. Every soul contract has a duration. Your cat came into your life with a specific mission, to teach you certain lessons, to help you through certain experiences, to facilitate certain growth in your soul. And once that mission is complete, it's time for them to return home. This doesn't make their passing any less painful. It doesn't mean you should have been prepared or that you shouldn't grieve. But it does offer a framework for understanding that can bring peace amidst the pain. Your cat didn't leave too soon. They stayed exactly as long as they were meant to stay. The lessons they came to teach have been delivered, even if you're still in the process of understanding them. The healing they came to facilitate has begun, even if it's not yet complete. The love they came to demonstrate is now permanently woven into your soul. Their mission is accomplished. And here's something that might bring you comfort. In many spiritual traditions, it's believed that the bonds formed between souls during these sacred contracts continue across lifetimes. This means that the connection between you and your cat doesn't end with this one physical incarnation. You've been together before, in different forms, and you'll be together again. Some people have reported extraordinary experiences that seem to confirm this. They adopt a new cat years after losing their beloved companion, and the new cat has eerily similar personality traits, quirks, or behaviors. Or they have vivid dreams where their departed cat introduces them to a new kitten, as if passing the torch. Or they feel an overwhelming, inexplicable pull toward a specific animal who seems to recognize them immediately. I'm not saying every new cat is a reincarnation of your departed friend, but I am saying that souls who love each other find ways to reunite. The universe is far more mysterious, far more compassionate, far more intentional than we often give it credit for. Has anything like this happened to you? Have you experienced signs that your cat's soul is still connected to yours, perhaps even guiding you toward new connections? Share your story in the comments. I find these accounts absolutely fascinating, and I know others who are grieving need to hear them. The promise of recognition. Here's what I want you to hold on to. When your time comes to cross over, whether that's many years from now or at the end of a long, well-lived life, you will see your cat again, not as a memory, not as a ghost, but as a living, vibrant soul who has been waiting for you with the same patience and unconditional love they showed you in life. Every major religion and spiritual tradition has some version of this promise. The Rainbow Bridge poem that brings comfort to so many pet parents. The ancient Egyptian belief that beloved cats would be waiting in the afterlife. The Native American understanding that animals are spiritual equals who continue their journey alongside us. You don't have to subscribe to any particular belief system to feel the truth of this in your heart. Love that deep, that pure, that transformative doesn't just end. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It only transforms. And the energy of love is the most powerful force in the universe. Your cat's physical body returned to the earth, but their soul, their essence, their consciousness, the part of them that loved you so fiercely, that continues. And it's still connected to you, still aware of you, still loving you from the other side. But before we can fully embrace the peace of that reunion, there's one more message your cat needs you to hear. One final lesson that might be the hardest to accept, but also the most important for your healing. Because your cat doesn't want you to spend the rest of your life frozen in grief, unable to move forward, trapped in the past. They have something urgent to tell you. Something that might challenge everything you believe about honoring their memory. They want to give you permission. Permission to do something that might feel like betrayal, but is actually the greatest gift you could give them. What is that permission? And why is it so hard to accept? The hardest truth to accept. There's a particular kind of guilt that comes with grief, a guilt that whispers in the quiet moments when you catch yourself laughing at something, or enjoying a beautiful day, or going hours without thinking about your loss. It's the guilt that says, "How dare you feel joy when they're gone?" And if you felt this, I want you to know something. Your cat sees that guilt, and it breaks their heart. Because the final message they want you to receive, the most important one of all, is this: continue living. Not just existing, but truly, fully, joyfully living. For both of you. The fifth message: live fully for both of us. Your cat spent their entire life demonstrating a fundamental truth. Life is meant to be experienced fully, in every moment, without holding back out of fear of future loss. They never hesitated to purr because they worried the moment would end. They never refused affection because they feared eventual separation. They never held back their love to protect themselves from the pain of goodbye. They gave everything completely because they understood something profound. The depth of love is worth the depth of loss. And now, from the other side, they're asking you to do the same. They don't want you to build walls around your heart. They don't want you to close yourself off from future connections because losing them hurt too much. They don't want you to carry your grief like a burden you're required to bear forever as proof of your love. What they want is that the best way to honor their memory is to embody the lessons they taught you, to be present, to love without reservation, to find joy in simple moments, to open your heart, even knowing it might break again. A grief counselor once told me something that changed my perspective entirely. She said, "Grief is not something you get over. It's something you integrate. The pain doesn't disappear, it transforms. It becomes part of your story, part of your depth, part of your capacity for compassion." Your cat's passing was devastating. The pain you feel is a testament to the depth of love you shared, and that pain deserves to be honored, not rushed through or dismissed. But there comes a point, and only you can know when that point arrives, when continuing to live in that pain becomes a way of hiding from life rather than honoring your cat's memory. Your cat wants you to mourn, to feel, to cry when you need to cry. But they also want you to heal, to laugh again, to let the sun warm your face and actually feel it, to live. The sacred work of moving forward. Here's something that might surprise you. Moving forward doesn't mean leaving your cat behind. It means bringing them with you in a different way. Every time you show kindness to another being, you're carrying their spirit forward. Every time you pause to appreciate a moment of beauty, you're practicing what they taught you. Every time you open your heart to love, you're honoring the gift they gave you. Your cat didn't come into your life to be the last thing you ever loved. They came to teach you how to love, period. To crack open your heart so that love could flow through you more freely, more abundantly, more courageously. Think about it. If you could ask your cat what they wanted for you, what would they say? Would they want you frozen in sadness, unable to experience joy? Or would they want you to take everything they taught you and share it with the world? You know the answer. Deep in your heart, you know. Opening your heart again. One of the most common questions I hear is, when is it okay to adopt again? How do I know if I'm ready? Let me be clear. You will never replace your cat. Every animal is unique, irreplaceable, a singular soul with their own personality and energy. Getting another cat doesn't erase the one you lost any more than having a second child erases the first. Your heart has infinite capacity. Love doesn't divide, it multiplies. As for when you're ready, there's no universal timeline. For some people, it's weeks. For others, it's years. But here's what I've noticed. Healing doesn't happen in isolation. Sometimes healing happens through action, through opening yourself to new connection, even while still carrying the tenderness of loss. If you feel even a whisper of readiness, if you find yourself looking at adoption websites or pausing when you see a cat at the shelter, that might be your departed cat giving you permission. That might be them saying, "I taught you how to love, now go do it again." And please don't let guilt stop you. Your cat doesn't want to be the reason you close your heart. They want to be the reason you opened it in the first place. Creating legacy through action. There's another powerful way to honor your cat: transforming your grief into service. Volunteer at a shelter. Foster animals who need temporary homes. Donate to rescue organizations in your cat's name. Share their story to raise awareness. Help other people who are grieving by offering the comfort you wish someone had given you. When you take your pain and turn it into something that helps others, you create a ripple effect of love that extends far beyond your individual loss. Your cat's life, and even their death, becomes a catalyst for good in the world. That is legacy. That is immortality. What could you do? How could your love for your cat become a force for good? I'd love to hear your ideas in the comments. The 5 messages, a summary. Let's come back to where we started, to the 5 messages your cat wants you to receive from the other side. First, I am still with you. The love you shared continues in every memory, every lesson, every moment when you feel their presence. Second, I taught you how to be present. That teaching lives on in you, calling you back to presence whenever you drift. Third, you gave me a home. I gave you purpose. The exchange between you was sacred, and that transformation is permanent. Fourth, we chose each other before we met. Your meeting wasn't random. That bond extends beyond this single lifetime. And fifth, live fully for both of us. Your cat doesn't want your grief to become a prison. They want you to take everything they taught you and live it boldly. A final blessing. If you're watching this in pain, if the loss is still fresh, I see you. I honor your grief. Everything you're feeling is valid and necessary. But I also want you to know, your cat is at peace. They're free from pain, from fear, from the limitations of the physical body. And they're still loving you, still watching over you, still hoping that one day soon you'll feel their presence not as an absence, but as a different kind of companionship. When you finally cross over and see them again, they won't ask you why you grieved. They'll ask you if you lived, if you loved, if you let their teachings transform you into the fullest version of yourself. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine your cat, not as they were in those final days, but in their prime. Healthy, vibrant, full of life. Can you see them? Now imagine them looking at you with those eyes that always saw straight into your soul, and imagine them saying, "Thank you for loving me. Thank you for giving me a home. Now go, live, love, be everything I taught you to be, and know that I'll be here always." That is their final message. That is the truth they want you to carry forward. Your cat's life mattered. Their love changed you. And now it's your turn to let that love ripple outward, touching other lives, creating more light in the world. If this message resonated with you, please consider subscribing to this channel. Share your story in the comments. Tell me about your cat. Tell me what they taught you. I read every single comment, and your story matters. Until we meet again, may you carry your cat's love in your heart, their lessons in your soul, and their light in every step you take forward. They are at peace, and one day so will you be. Thank you for loving your cat the way you did. And thank you for having the courage to open your heart, even knowing it would one day break. That courage is what makes us human, and it's what makes love eternal.